Joining us on the program today from DataSync is one of our neighbors in our building at the South Dakota Technology Building, Mike Vetter. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Glad to have you be part of the show. Did you get your restaurant card yet?
I haven't. No, see, my head's been in the sand, too. I've been working the crazy shifts, so I haven't been out much.
You didn't know that they were available either.
I had no idea.
See, he's going to run out and he's going to get them.
Right.
They're in the mall. Right. They got a kiosk in the mall. $25. Buy one get one free. You can eat out every single day.
Yeah, they'll be telling everybody about it.
Are you kidding me? This is crazy stuff. Mike, I think you have one of those stories that is you hear about on a national level about, you see those things and maybe sometimes people don't realize that they actually happens right here in Sioux Falls. You went out and started a business, started in your basement. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like I had a great strategy when I started. I was actually a sophomore in college, and I didn't want to work for the man anymore, and I had some previous experience with technology, and my dad said I could use the basement, so I started my operation out of my basement when I was 19 years old.
How interesting. I was 19 and decided I didn't want to work for the man anymore.
No doubt.
At 19.
You were 19, all wisdom is complete, right? And you find out you want to start your own business and you think it's going to be a cakewalk, and working for the man is like some horrible thing. And it doesn't take long for you to realize that responsibility is sometimes a lot more responsible than you anticipated.
I waited till I was 45 to decide I didn't want to work for the man anymore. So tell me a little bit about what your company is and what you started at and where you're at today.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick rundown of what we did since I was 19 until now. That was, a few years ago now. And when I was 19, I just fixed computers. I just went out to businesses and, people in their houses and fixed their PCs and helped them with their network. And it really took off quickly, actually. And that was up in Madison, South Dakota. And did that for a couple of years and actually got to be a significant organization down there. And through that, I just found out that it was a difficult thing to go into these businesses and fix their computers because they didn't really have an IT staff and didn't really have the funding to really build a good network. And so what we kind of figured out is that it was better to host the software in a central location and distribute it to all our clients. So that's what we do today. We have what we call a business suite of applications that we've assembled, and we've connected them and melded them together into this application that we deliver via the internet. So now you can get, communication software and sales software, e-commerce, a lot of different things that businesses need, financial software, and you can actually just purchase it as a service, very inexpensive service. And the second thing it allows us to do is it allows us to distribute it to anyone, anywhere. So we actually have clients around the globe. We just talked to somebody in Europe somewhere yesterday. I don't remember where in Europe, but
I think you told us Prague.
Yeah, okay, it's Prague. Yeah, so we talk to people around the world all the time, and they sign up for our software, and they can be anywhere using our software securely.
So basically, what you did again is, and this is where so many entrepreneur ideas come from, is that you, by being in something, you found a need and a service that can be provided, and went out and just thought, this is it, and took it out and absolutely exploded from there.
Right. It wasn't like we were a bunch of geniuses who sat around in some green room, thinking up great business ideas. We just saw a need in our customer base that there must be a better way to deliver reliable, flexible, robust software without having to charge them so much and have all this downtime. And that's really where we came up with our business model. And we developed it. We have outstanding advisors now that help us understand what the market is looking for, and that's what gives us our competitive advantage.
So when it comes to coming up and being an entrepreneur like you are, how important is it to have those financial advisors or business advisors that have had the experience? I mean, you're still a very young guy here, but obviously there's a lot of wealth of knowledge that these people help pass on to you when it comes to building your company.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I try to be the dumbest guy in the room whenever possible. So it's a big thing to find people that know more than you. You're smarter by association if you take their advice. And same with the people at DataSync. I mean, we just have incredible, talented individuals that know way more than I do about their areas of expertise. And I think that's the first thing you got to do as an entrepreneur is realize that you don't know what you don't know, and that those things you don't know will sink you. And so we've avoided a lot of catastrophic mistakes by finding great people.
But you still, again, anytime you start up a brand new company, there are always mistakes that you make along the way in the learning experience. But I mean, how gutsy is it to take that risk at 19 and go, you know what? I want to start my own business. I want to do my own thing.
Well, I didn't know what I didn't know, so I thought it was a good idea and I could do it, fairly easily. So I think that was part of it. The second thing is I was young and I didn't have a lot to lose. I didn't have a family or a bunch of assets that I was concerned about losing if it didn't work. And so for me, I still don't look at it as a risk. The opportunity is just so big, and the experience that I've gained is just phenomenal. So for me, it was a very easy decision to start what I'm doing now. That's
one of the things, though, about entrepreneurs that is a little different in the way they think, is that it's not so much about a risk as that they look at it as an opportunity. And an idea is just an idea unless you act on it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that you have to look at challenges and hurdles as opportunities. And you got to realize that a lot of people aren't willing to overcome those. So the fact that you are willing to, stretch yourself a little bit and put yourself over the top will differentiate you in and of itself. And that's what takes most of the small businesses out, is when the tough times come, they aren't getting tougher. And we have something at DataSync we call hardiness. It's a term that our sales director had brought to the company. And hardiness is just this word that kind of emits this desire to overcome and to triumph over, failure and mistake and market changes and all that kind of stuff. And so we really have bought into that philosophy.
Where is your fear of failure? That's one thing that I think happens a lot of times with young companies or companies that have trouble, is that they're just like, okay, we failed, we messed up. Where do we, what do you learn from that experience, and where do you move on?
Well, I think it does get you down when stuff happens. I think I'd be foolish to say I don't feel it emotionally. It's an emotional thing.
Sure.
Doing a startup, but I think as you start to overcome barriers, you realize that the best way to overcome barriers is to figure out what went wrong and fix it. And the less time you go around saying nothing's wrong, the better. And I think a lot of businesses sink themselves because they spend all their time going, it'll get better if I just wait around and wait for it to get better. And problems don't get better; they get worse.
Right, exactly. I just think that's such an interesting point about being able to think that way, think outside the box, maybe in traditional business. You've got a great young staff of people that work over there, and being a little different environment than maybe traditional work environments are.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to have a little peek into it, go to our website. It's datasync.com, and check out our Flickr feed. We've got a bunch of pictures, and we're a pretty dynamic group, and we're young, and we have a lot of fun together, and we're actually growing very quickly, and so we're definitely hiring. So if you're a software developer, let me know, and we'll hook you up with a job if you know what you're talking about.
Hold on just a second. You mean there's a company in town that's hiring?
Here we go.
Somebody alert that newspaper. Somebody tell them you're looking for some software people.
Yeah, for sure. The economy is tough, but like I said, the tough get tougher, and we've been able to survive some of the downturn, and it's made us stronger. So we're growing very quickly, actually, and we're looking for people.
That's a great story. And again, to take a company as young as you are and actually selling your product and your services worldwide, as an international company located right here in Sioux, and the environment out there at the South Dakota Technology Building is something special, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a great place for just connections. You talked about networking earlier. That's huge.
Right.
We use that network. We just got capitalized actually by a group of venture investors, and so if we hadn't had that network, it would have been difficult for us to connect with the funding sources and some of the advisory sources that we needed to get to the next level.
It's kind of cool how these ideas come together, and how when you throw an idea out there and you put it out there for the world to see that you want to do something like this, how all of a sudden you just somehow seems like you start being connected to the right people to help you get to where your dreams are and what you're trying to do. We live it every day right now.
Oh, yeah.
We had the most incredible busy week of all time this week, so it's been really a neat thing. It's a great story, Mike. I really appreciate you coming on and being on the show. And if you want to read more about his business and what they've done, it's on SiouxFallsBusinessNews.com. You'll see it there as well. And you're on Twitter.
Yeah, you guys, I just heard you're on Twitter now, so I'm going to follow you. It's you're now hip, officially hip.
I'm now officially hip.
Yeah, you're hip.
I'm officially part of the generation.
His head doesn't need to get any bigger.
I'm now.
Not at all. Not at all.
Because we're on Twitter. I love it. Mike Vetter with DataSync. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, and look forward to having you back on the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That's some good stuff. Really enjoy it.